Hello there, good evening. It is the 16th day of October 2024, and this is Starr today here on Starr FM. You're welcome. Coming up in this broadcast, drama in court as family and church members of Prophet Salifu Amwako go on rampage, attacking journalists and onlookers who thronged courts to witness their first appearance. We'll take you live to the court shortly, where the Prophet, his wife and one other person have just been granted a 50,000 bail after they pleaded not guilty to permitting an unlicensed person to drive. Also in this broadcast, focus on winning the upcoming polls. That's the admonition from former NDC MP Ras Mubarak, who has slammed the minorities' push for some seats to be declared vacant. We'll shortly take you to Parliament and hear excerpts on this petition by a former minority leader for some of his colleagues to be removed from the House. Later in this bulletin, we'll tell you why President Akufo-Addo has made a U-turn and now challenging former President John Dramani Mahama to debate Dr. Bawumia. Well, former President Mahama softened his stance and take up this gauntlet. We hear from his team shortly. And later on the campaign trail tonight, we sit with the Owutu Senya West MP, Gisela Tete Agbotui. We have the details of these and many other stories in this broadcast. Do stay.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takoradi, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Somali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
Now, that is how the family of Prophet Elisha Salifu Amwako and his wife went on rampage, attacking journalists and onlookers who thronged the courts to witness their first appearance. You recall the son of Prophet Salifu Amwako was involved in a deadly car crash that claimed the lives of some 2 persons at East Legon over the weekend. Now, the collision allegedly caused by overspeeding left both vehicles completely destroyed by the flames. Confirming allegations, the car was driven by the 16-year-old Elwad Amwako. The police arrested a popular man of God and his wife in custody to assist in further investigations. But appearing before court today, Prophet Salifu Amwako, his wife and one other person were granted a 50,000 bail each as they pleaded not guilty to permitting an unlicensed person to drive. Let's go over the phone lines and get more details from our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala in Musa. Mutala, thank you very much for your time this evening. What more information have you gathered about these developments?
Well, Vanessa, I'm sure you're talking to me about the Salifu Amwako case.
Absolutely.
So as we speak, currently we're still before the circuit court. You know, it is already 5 and the court has closed. But Salifu Amwako, the wife, Moha Amwako, and one Linda Bonsu Pemperi are told that she is a sales assistant at Lilo Stitches. They have been arraigned, charged with one count of permitting an unlicensed person to drive. He pleaded not guilty to the count, and they have been granted bail by the circuit court presided over by his honor, Mr. Samuel Bright Aqua. What the court had said after listening, but prosecution did not oppose to the grant of bail. What the prosecution asked the court to do is to ensure that the bail conditions are such a way that the accused person will be able to stand trial anytime that the case will come on. They are also to deposit their passport and then a Ghana card at the registry because they are well to do and they can do anything when granted bail. The lawyers of the accused persons also vehemently raised the issue of bail and said, look, the accused persons are ever ready to make themselves available to the court anytime, any day that the court wants them. And so the bail conditions to reflect that. The court did not have issues about a bail at all. What the court said was that there's no evidence to show that the accused persons will not avail themselves to stand trial. There's no evidence to show that the accused persons do not have persons with sufficient means to stand as sureties for them. And so the court is convinced that when granted bail, they will avail themselves. Subsequently, each of them 50,000 Ghana cedis.
Right. For purposes of clarity, do we know if they satisfy the bail conditions and are they free as we talk?
As we speak, we are still here at the court waiting for them to be able to satisfy all the conditions. So that is what is happening here. They have not been let go yet because it's still yet to satisfy the bail conditions here at the circuit court, even though the hour that the court says is over.
Now, Mutala, we understand you together with other journalists were attacked. Tell us about that.
Yes, Vanessa. Initially, when the accused persons were brought in the police pickup, where as we usually would do, try to get some visuals to tell our story as it is. But those sympathizers who came to lend support didn't allow that. In fact, at a point in time, I have to even smash my phone. We were so lucky that they didn't. In fact, police officers who were also here to assist and protect us, some of them were also assaulted. So it became an issue. It became a scuffle between some of the policemen, some of the media people here. But at some point in time, calm was restored, especially when the accused persons were taken to the court. That is the situation that earlier the sympathizers who came here indeed had a scuffle with us because they wouldn't allow us to take a big video or a picture of the accused person. But they say that they have also had something in common at some point in time when the accused persons were with the police, and the police says that they can resist any such attempt anytime that the media. So they thought that they could do it. So those were the early incidents that happened also after before the case was called.
Now, Mutala, do we know if any arrests were made following that assault?
Yeah, as we speak, we don't have that officially, but I do know that initially the police officer who was assaulted made sure that the person, in fact, the lady who assaulted him, would be brought to book. So that effort was made, but officially we are yet to confirm whether somebody else has been picked out.
So can you confirm if you are safe at the moment?
At the moment, as I talk to you, I am safe. But you notice that the earlier visuals that I sent, all of them, we couldn't get what we want because they were restricting us, they were pushing us, they were jostling us, but they were physically manhandling us here to the point that they have to even assault the police officer at that particular point in time. So it was a difficult moment in the early stages when this case came up earlier in the afternoon.
Musala, thank you very much for those updates. But don't go yet because we'll still stay in court and talk about something else. Because we understand the leading member of Democracy Hub, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, was earlier today granted bail by the High Court in Accra in the sum of 20,000 Ghana cedis. In addition to the bail sum, he is to produce 2 sureties and also report to the police twice a week. Musala, what's the latest on this as we speak?
Absolutely, Vanessa, you are right. The High Court in Accra presided over by Justice Aite Amatete. You notice that he is the same judge that refused the earlier High Court deal that Oliver Barker's lawyers filed and ordered that the circuit court should start the trial of Oliver Barker within 72 hours. That did not happen. The court, even before the court made that order, said that after the 72 hours, if the trial did not start, the court could consider bail, and that was the reason the lawyers went back with a repeat bail application. This time around, they succeeded. So 20,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties, and then the court is saying that look, twice in a week he has to report to the police. So we're still following up to see whether he has satisfied those conditions, for which reason he should be let go. As we speak, I have not officially confirmed if Oliver has been able to satisfy those bail conditions. But what is clear is that the last person among the 53 who were arraigned in relation to the reoccupy Julabi protest, Oliver Bakapomao, has been granted bail, and the last of the accused person to be arraigned or to be released on bail or to be granted bail by the High Court.
See, Mutala, let's still stay in court because we also understand that Bernard Moda's suit against the Electoral Commission was heard today. Tell us about that.
Absolutely, an action-packed court day, and in fact, this is one of the cases. You notice that the Electoral Commission is already printing ballot papers and ensuring that the 2024 December elections will go on. And Bernard Mona, who was disqualified in relation to the EC saying that he couldn't, as it were, file, he made errors in his form submitted to the constitute, the Electoral Commission. And today, this morning, Richard appeared to the court. The justice who sat on the matter had submissions from the lawyers of Bernard Mona, and also had submissions from the Electoral Commission, and came to the determination that on Monday, October 21, the court will make a determination on that. However, the court will want to see the resubmitted form of Bernard Mona, the original one which was submitted to the EC, which the EC earlier requested 2 hours to be able to do that. In fact, the lawyers of Bernard Mona also indicated that they want a copy of their own resubmitted form that they submitted to the EC. But their point is that the EC never gave Bernard Mona the opportunity to correct those errors that the EC said they have detected. Again, the EC failed to specify the kind of errors that Bernard Mona, as it were, committed in the form, except to say that those things that the EC pointed out were vague. But of course, they'll have to come back on Monday to the fate of Bernard Mona to be determined.
Mutala, thank you very much for those updates there. That's our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa, bringing us up to speed about developments happening in court today. But Bernard Mona engaged the media after at that hearing. Let's listen to him. Mr. Mona has also appealed for spiritual support against his ongoing battle with the Electoral Commission in court after he paid a courtesy call to the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission in Labone. Listen to his plea for the Ahmadiyya fraternity to back him spiritually in prayer.
intervention. We have come here for your prayers and above all for your witty words. This is why we are here this afternoon.
Bernard Moda is the flag bearer of the PNC. We still have a lot more political stories for you after this break. Don't go away.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. They be bien juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo bejim. Say akoko na person share poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a ode beto eduane ama sika ode beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. You let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, fan cheche. And vote Dr. Bawumia, #1 on the ballot.
Accra gets ready for the ultimate sporting event of the year. Starr 103.5 FM, your #1 radio station, presents the Starr FM Attend Diplomatic Games.
On Saturday, 26th of October, the world's top diplomats gather for a friendly competition like no other in Accra, Ghana, under the theme Breast Cancer Awareness. Feel it, find it, fight it. And remember, there will be free breast cancer screening.
The venue is the American International School Sports Complex, East Legon, Accra. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. The dress code is sporty pink. Activities of the day include
soccer, volleyball, tennis, obstacle race, indoor games, and more.
Who takes home the gold? Look out for our colorful and exciting children's corner. Join us live at the Diplomatic Games with commentary from your favorite Starr FM hosts. Don't miss the action at the Starr FM Attend Diplomatic Games on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at the AIS Sports Complex, East Legon. Remember, attendance is absolutely free, but registration is compulsory.
Visit www.starfm.com.gh to register for free. This event is in partnership with American International School and supported by Sahara Rise Hospitality, Accra Medical Center.
Fellow countrymen and women, the desperate NPP, realizing that they are losing the 2024 elections, has once again resorted to lies to smear the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The NPP's claim that Mahama was against free SHS and will cancel it when elected is nothing but a barefaced lie calculated to deceive you. John Mahama started the implementation of the progressively free SHS program in 2015 with day students and had a clear plan to expand the program to cover borders, hence cannot be said to be against free SHS. What he has been against is the poor implementation of the program. Contrary to the lies of the NPP, the next NDC Mahama government will improve the implementation of the free SHS program to make it better. We will do this by scrapping the double-track system, provide a dedicated source of funding for the program, include private SHS, improve the feeding of our children, and enhance the quality of learning outcomes. Listen to the truth from the horse's own mouth.
Free senior high school education has come to stay. If anybody tells you that I, John Dramani Mahama, son of E.A. Mahama, will abolish free SHS when I come, tell the person he is a bloody liar. What I'm against is the poor implementation of the free SHS, which is creating great inconvenience for the parents, for the students, and for the teachers. And one of the things we'll do when we come back into office, and I know inshallah we're coming back into office, is to complete the 200 community day schools that we began, so that we can bring a quick end to the double-track system.
Beware of the NPP's lies. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Starr today. First, fast, and credible.
You're welcome back from the break. This is still Starr today here on Starr FM, and I am Tutuwaa Danso. Now, if you think the dust on the presidential debate has settled, wait a minute. President Akufo-Addo just entered the group chat. He wants a debate and wants it now. Hold your horses. The debate is not for him, but for his vice president and the NPP's flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and NDC flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. Now, a few weeks to election 2024, Eko Boate tells us why this is important to President Akufo-Addo.
Why is John Mahama running away from the debate?
$1 million question there, Mr. President. However, does this remind the nation of anything?
Asantimantem. Say debate no peno the whole Ghana. What the Asantimantem? Omombra, mentraha, no montraha, Nena yentre nya was Asantimantem.
In 2020, reports indicate President Akufo-Addo rejected invitations from then NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama to contest in a debate. But now things seem to have changed. The president wants the NDC flag bearer and Vice President Bawumia to face off.
We need somebody who's reliable, whose word can be trusted, who is consistent, and who is clear-minded. And that is why some of us are saying, in fact, the majority of us in Ghana are saying, we want him and Bawumia to debate the issues in our country.
Nothing more will please the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
I'm afraid that he's running away from a debate, isn't it? His people say he doesn't want to debate, but he doesn't want to debate because he knows I'll expose the emptiness of his policies.
Yet, the NDC remains unperturbed.
President Mahama met you journalists. He gave you an opportunity to ask him all questions.
So I asked questions.
There was no question going, there's no question anyone again can ask President Mahama beyond what you guys asked him. Bawumia should first meet you people that way. Answer your questions, then he can meet us for a debate. We are ready. President Mahama knows what he's done.
Is that a yes? Especially after Dr. Bawumia has also met the press.
Nobody should be allowed to be president who cannot answer these questions straightforward. Yes or no?
Mr. Mahama, the ball is now in your court.
Mr. Mahama, which is which?
At this point, will anything change?
The people of Ghana deserve the debate so they can see, freely, who is doing what and saying what and who's presenting what.
For GH1 TV and Starr FM, this is Eko Boate's report.
That was a report filed by my colleague Eko Boate. But let's still stay on politics and election-related issues this evening, because opinions were mixed with sections of the public divided over the ongoing online voter exhibition exercise. Now, speaking to Starr News, while one section claimed knowledge of the online exhibition and a willingness to patronize the platform, the other half were oblivious and not even interested because they were adamant of not going to the polls to vote in the upcoming elections. Here are some of them. Take a listen.
Okay, so with this online thing, actually, personally, I've not heard of it. If you weren't the one saying it, you get me. So here's the case. One, we have to ask ourselves, what of the people who do not have access to the online process? how are they going to verify their things? Are you getting me? This is the state where everyone we want everything to be digital, we want everything to be online. But then let's ask ourselves, is this online thing going to help us? Let us not focus on party thing.
I haven't heard of the online exhibition, but I think it's a good idea for us to put it on board so that everyone can have access and check their name online.
I've heard of the online exhibition of the voters register. I haven't done it, but some of my friends who have done it said it's very effective. And then you use your Ghana card. There's a place for it that when you enter it, you get to, and then you see all your informations. I'll go and do it now. After talking to you, when I said I'll use my phone to do it.
I don't have an idea of what's going around here voters exhibition. And also, I'm not certain about checking. Maybe also I might check. And for the voting, maybe I might vote.
Not mention it today. I will have no idea that something like this is going on. I think because of low visibility and the youths are no longer interested in this election. Looking at the current governance going on, you don't know whether to vote for MPP, whether to vote for NDC, and the opposition, they are nothing to write home about.
Honestly, I won't vote this year. I'm not standing my vote this year so I don't have a reason to check my voting transfer.
You just heard from some sections of the public talking about the online exhibition exercise conducted by the Electoral Commission. But meanwhile, coordinator of the National Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, says it's urging the Electoral Commission to intensify its public outreach to ensure persons are not disenfranchised. He spoke earlier on GH1 Newsroom. That is Albert Ahin.
To be honest with you, when it comes to exhibition of voters in this country, there's so much apathy. It has always been so. Whether the exhibition exercise is seriously publicized or not, Ghanaians have always been apathetic about the exhibition exercise. In fact, the last one that was done is recorded 38%. That was even quite high. Ghanaians have not been patronizing the exhibition exercise. So it's nothing strange. I'm not surprised about what's going on. But that does not mean that, of course, the EC should not publicize it. The EC should do well to make sure that every other day this thing is made known to Ghanaians. Some people are saying they are not aware of what is going on. Maybe the EC should make sure that they do it every day, because this is not something that's going to last for about a week or so. So it is good that they do the advert every day so that Ghanaians will be able to go there and check. And in fact, these days, you cannot say that in the villages people cannot do it. They have phones in the village. There are phones everywhere. And this does not even need an internet. It's just an SMS thing, so they can quickly go and check. They need not have any special thing to check whether they are named on the register, because one person's phone can check for more than 10 people, and they are not paying any money. The EC has made us understand that they are not charging. So maybe I have to take this opportunity to appeal to Ghanaians to go and check, or use their phones to check, to find out whether they are named on the register. It's a chance to know, so that on the D-Day, on the 7th, you just go there, and then maybe even mention your position on the register, and then they will quickly let you go.
Albert Ahin is the national coordinator of CODEO.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
Let's now go to the House of Legislature this evening, because a former member of Parliament for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, has described as bizarre and absurd the minority's push for some 4 seats to be declared vacant. And this comes after a former minority leader and MP for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, filed a petition in that regard. A follow-up statement by the minority leader, Dr. Kasio Atoforson, called for the seats of the 4 MPs who have filed to contest as independent candidates to be declared vacant in line with Article 97, Clauses 1G of the 1992 Constitution. Now, following a heated debate in Parliament on Tuesday, Speaker Baben requested 2 more days to deliver a ruling.
I have listened to the comments from members after the minority leader submitted before the House a statement under Order 93. Both the statement and the comments have raised quite serious issues of procedure and substantive law, and I think I need time to go through them, because what I believe is that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And when you plant evil, you reap evil. And so I want to take a few days to submit a reasoned ruling in this matter. I see that this is not only an urgent matter, but a very serious national issue. Please kindly give me these 2 days, and I'll come here with a well-written ruling. I will submit it to all of you so that at the end of the day, justice would have not only been done, but would have been seen to be manifestly done in this matter.
You just heard there the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, on his take on that development there. But Article 97, Clause 1G states that an MP shall vacate his seat if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. Peter Aka, Amenfi Central MP, Kwejo Asante, incumbent MP for Suhum, and his colleague NPP MP for Agona West, Cynthia Morrison, who both entered Parliament on the ticket of the NPP, are now running as independent candidates in the December polls, hence the threat from the minority. But let's take you back into the time, specifically in November 2020, when the Speaker, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, delivered a ruling which declared the Fomena seats vacant after the then NPP MP Andrea Mwakwesiama filed as an independent candidate. Interestingly, he has again filed to contest on the ticket of the NPP in the upcoming December polls. Take a listen to that ruling from Professor Quay.
A member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. The petition from the NPP Constitution, which the MP freely subscribed to, provides in Article 391 that a member of the party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party, or who joins or declares his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate when the party has sponsored a candidate in the general or by-election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. After 7 December 2020, when Parliament is still in session, till 7 January 2021, how does an MP operate both as an elected independent MP and at the same time an MPP MP if he should win the election? This lacuna of a ridiculous situation is not what is anticipated under the 1992 Constitution. In the circumstances, Parliament it is determined that the conduct of Honorable Andrew Amwako amounts to vacating his seat in Parliament. Accordingly, we bring this to the notice of the Electoral Commission for the necessary action to be taken in accordance with the law.
That was Professor Aaron Michael Quay in 2020 there, declaring the seat of the Fomena MP, who was then running on the ticket of the NPP, vacant. But some interesting reactions have greeted what has been happening thus far. Former MP for Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, has in a statement described the move as a bizarre one and called on the minority to focus on more pressing issues in the country. My colleague Edem Kojo joins us in the studios with more of details on that in that statement. Edem Kojo, good evening and thank you very much. What more is captured in that statement?
Okay, so this is a very lengthy one, which I'll try to shorten, with the headline, Haruna Idris's motion, a waste of everyone's time.
Okay.
And it says, he goes on to give you the background, and then now, let's go in. Now, it says, whilst we await the decision of the Speaker, I must say the motion was a bizarre and shocking frolic that completely ignores the most pressing issues in the country. Members of Parliament who spoke in support of the motion completely ignored one of the issues high up on the minds of Ghanaians yearning for credible elections in December. How to rein in the intransigent electoral commissioner and getting her to produce nothing but a free and fair election on 7 December. That should be the priority of every elected member, especially those in opposition. What is the electoral portion of the motion? With almost 7 weeks to December election, how does removing 4 rogue MPs revolve the issue of the electoral commissioner's adamant posturing? It doesn't in any significant way clip the wings of President Akufo-Addo, who should have been impeached by now. We have had almost 1,500 Ghanaians die in road accidents in the first quarter of 2024 alone, according to public records. The country had recorded nearly 10,000 injuries from road accidents within the first 6 months of this year. It is a major disaster that requires serious and urgent action by all stakeholders, including Parliament, which ought to enact the necessary legislation to stem the tide and appropriate the necessary funds to deal with the crisis. There's also the wanton destruction of our water bodies, forest reserve, and plastic pollution crisis, plus President Akufo-Addo's government running the economy aground. And the first act by the minority is not a motion to impeach the president for his colossal failures to tackle the illegal mining crisis, nor a bill to prosecute parents like Bishop Salifu Amwako, whose minor children commit high crimes. Practicality and common sense dictate that the NDC and its MPs must be focused on reining in the electoral commissioner, whose posturing and impunity is very worrying. At the time of writing this article, we are 52 days away from December 7 election. There will be no by-elections even if the 4 rogue MPs are removed. Upon the resumption of Parliament, I expect urgent questions to the Minister of Defense on whether peacekeeping troops in Lebanon were harmed in any way by the criminal Israeli regime which attacked the position of UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. I expect a private member's bill for the amendment of the Coroner's Act, which requires for every deceased person, including deceased Muslims, to undergo autopsy. This is an issue I unsuccessfully raised when I was MP in the 7th Parliament, and one which is of grave concern to Muslims up and down the country, including majority of the former minority leaders' constituents, who are Muslims. All these issues are ignored for a more hopeless frolic that has zero impact on our fortunes in the upcoming elections, nor the issues high up on the mind of sovereign Ghanaians. The former minority said he was defending the constitution, which in truth is what every Ghanaian, especially those elected in office, should do. But at the time, defending the constitution would have been effective and productive. He and just about everyone who spoke in support of the motion abandoned their constitutional obligations and betrayed the sacred and hallowed oath of office. So he goes on and on. I said a very long one, and I'll just come and end with it. So we in the NDC are hungry for power. We are going to a very difficult election where the referee is clearly biased against us. The sooner we kept our eyes on the most important things, the better for us.
Right.
We can't afford to take our eyes off the ball. Parliament is clothed with all the powers to put the electoral commissioner in check. And I hope we make that a priority than this injury time gymnastic that are a waste of everyone's time. So yes, so that's what he says, and it's a very interesting one. But I don't know what to make of this because the Parliament person will come in.
Absolutely.
I feel some of the bills in there that he's saying must be pushed. Probably the minority might feel if they had the numbers,
right,
it would be easier for them to make those amendments that he's saying. So that's a very interesting conversation.
Pretty much interesting. Thank you very much, Edem Kujua, giving us updates or details of that statement where the former Kumbungu Member of Parliament is dismissing the NDC's quest to want to be the majority in the House. But let me come into the studio still because we've been joined by our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Ibrahim Al-Hassan. He's been following this for as long as I can remember. Ibi, good evening. Thank you very much. You have excerpts of Professor Aaron Okoye's Hansard. Run us through that.
Yes, so the voice you played was just an excerpt of a much detailed ruling that he gave in the 7th Parliament where he was the Speaker. And that was after the General Secretary of the MPP then, John Boadu, had written officially to Parliament and to he, the Speaker, indicating that the former MP Andrew Esiama had filed to contest as independent candidate, and for that matter, he had forfeited his membership of the NPP. And he goes ahead to talk about this. He said, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Andrew Esiama, who has been written to, has responded accordingly and copies are attached to the ruling. The MPP invoked Article 97(1)(g). Take notice of Article 97(1). It's the same article that has been invoked by the NDC of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana 1992, which provides that a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. He goes further to give his ruling that the Constitution of the NPP, which the MP freely subscribes to, provides in Article 3, Clause 9 and 1 that a member of the party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party or who joins or defers his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate when the party has sponsored a candidate in a general election, of course, in a general election or by-election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. The moment the MP filed, and here the MP, he's talking about Andrew Esiama, the moment the MP filed his candidature with the office of the Electoral Commission to contest the next election as an independent candidate, it shows clearly that he seeks to leave his party.
Right.
He seeks to leave the MPP.
Right.
This automatically, emphasis mine, this automatically triggers forfeiture of his party membership. So, per the ruling Professor Makokwe, the speaker then read, it didn't need any triggering. Once you file to contest as an independent candidate,
it was automatic.
it becomes automatic
Right.
that you cease to be a member of the party. He goes further to say, he cannot have the desire to leave, take a step towards it by filing as an independent candidate, and yet claim to be a member of the party. The step taken to contest against his party automatically triggers forfeiture of his membership. Now, having forfeited his membership of the party on which ticket he was elected to parliament, the operative language of the constitution is that he shall, which is mandatory, vacate his seat in parliament.
This is in accordance with Article 97 1G.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And he goes further to say that going by a purposive interpretation of the present law, constructive actions on the part of the MP is important. With all intents and purposes, he is no longer a member of the party. He has pronounced himself publicly as an independent candidate and has filed papers to compete against the party and its official candidate as an independent candidate on 7th December 2020. On that occasion, this current parliament will still be in sitting and operating as an official parliament of the Republic of Ghana. We shall not have a situation adopted freely by any certain MP where he or she will be campaigning openly against the party that he or she still represents in parliament and yet ridiculously stands against the party. No purposive interpretation of law will allow such a ridicule to prevail. And finally, he talks about the fact that furthermore, after 7th December 2020, when Parliament is still in session till 7th January 2021, how does an MP operate as an elected independent MP and also at the same time as an MPP MP if he should win the election? Newsflash, he went ahead to win the election. This lacuna of a ridiculous situation is not what was anticipated under the 1992 Constitution. In conclusion, in the circumstances, it is stemmed that the conduct of Honorable Andrew Esiama amounts to vacating his seat in Parliament. Accordingly, we bring this to the notice of the Electoral Commission, blah, blah, blah. But of course, subsequently, no action was taken. And then Andrew Esiama went on to win.
But interestingly, Professor Makokwe stuck to this ruling, even though we had people, contesting that it was flawed. And this time, it's not just one person. We have 4 other people. So what are we to expect from Bagben? Are they going to twist their stance?
Well, so there are many within the NDC, lawyers within the NDC in Parliament, who still believe that this particular ruling that I have read was flawed then, it's still flawed now. But they argue that that precedent has been set. So the argument is that Bagben cannot depart from that precedent because when they cautioned Professor Makokwe that his ruling was flawed and illegal and unconstitutional,
he still went
the
ahead.
People on the other side still supported him and he still went ahead and then gave his ruling. Professor Kwe himself has said that the circumstances are different and that when he was given this ruling, the party had triggered a process. He had been petitioned by the party. But if you listen carefully to the ruling I read, he departed from even the petition that had been brought to him and said that once you declare publicly that you are going independent, it's automatic.
To the constitutional provisions.
It becomes automatic. So we await Speaker's verdict tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is the day that the Speaker will be given his ruling. As whether he will stick to what his predecessor, Professor Ero Makokwe, did, or go ahead and give a contrary opinion to this. But of course, mind you, the court is still seized with a writ filed by Alexander Kwame Afenyomakin to attend to this matter, of course. And that is not related to whatsoever what is happening in Parliament.
Absolutely.
Parliament will go ahead and Speaker will make a determination whilst the court case
judiciary
still
deals with it.
goes
Thank you
on.
very much. Ibrahim Alassan is our parliamentary affairs correspondent. But the executive director of Parliamentary Network Africa, Samuel Obeng, has also been sharing his thoughts. He spoke to my colleague Nana Akwa earlier on the Star Midday News.
Contention is about whether the people intend to remain in the current parliament as independent entities or the filing of their nominations is towards a new parliament, which is completely different from the current existing parliament. It was on that premise that we thought that we needed not in 2020 give oxygen to this entire process because the future implications.
Star Today, first, fast, and credible.
Well, this is still Star Today, and up next on the broadcast is a sports update with my colleague Chris. Chris, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Vanessa. I'm sure you've heard about or you've seen what the Blasters did yesterday.
Oh yeah, 2 points after 4 games. I
Yes.
remember.
Oh yes, and then Blasters legend and a former FIFA Under-20 World Cup winner Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu has questioned the commitment of the Blasters. Speaking on the game here on GH1 TV and then on Starr FM earlier this afternoon, Ajiman-Bedu lamented the current crop of players in the Blasters team lacks passion and then commitment. The former Blasters players' reaction comes after the Ghana's 2-0 defeat to Sudan in the AFCON qualifiers yesterday.
If there is a problem at home and you can't solve it, it escalates and comes out. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. You could see that it was petty. And we just leave it like that. And now it has escalated, it has exploded. And that is exactly what we have seen. We have been there. I know when you see the body language, when you speak to some of the players, they will tell you, say, hey, senior, what is going on? This one. Then I say, hey, and that's something like Ghana. If you got to this point, then we are doomed. So we beg them. Yes, they can massage the tent. Me, I still eat from football. If the game goes down, I am doomed in this country. What am I going to do? There's children that is coming that they want to be more than Ajiman-Bedu or earn something for football.
Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu further touched on the unfortunate incident that followed between the Blasters goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi and then Jordan Ayew. He disclosed that this is a clear indication of cracks in the team.
I am getting tired, I'm getting frustrated, and it seems like I will become a very bad person. Because for the past 5 years, I have been talking, and it comes to a time I don't even know what to say again. Then the question is, you go back, what is the problem? What is this? The problem is the one we have been advocating for, that our strongest weapon in this country is our under-20. That is where we get our players to feed our Blasters. Now, when you rely on the junior teams and maybe rely on your local league so that you can get 1 or 2 qualities from the local league, add to your junior teams, then you go outside and bring some of your quality players, those who are playing outside, then you make them, then you have a team.
So that was Emmanuel Ajiman-Bedu, former Blasters player, reacting to Ghana's 2-0 defeat against Sudan yesterday.
Thank you very much, Chris, for the sports updates there. Up next on the broadcast, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Fellow countrymen and women, the desperate NPP, realizing that they are losing the 2024 elections, has once again resorted to lies to smear the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The NPP's claim that Mahama was against free SHS and will cancel it when elected is nothing but a barefaced lie calculated to deceive you. John Mahama started the implementation of the progressively free SHS program in 2015 with day students and had a clear plan to expand the program to cover borders, hence cannot be said to be against free SHS. What he has been against is the poor implementation of the program. Contrary to the lies of the NPP, the next NDC Mahama government will improve the implementation of the free SHS program to make it better. We will do this by scrapping the double track system, provide a dedicated source of funding for the program, include private SHS, improve the feeding of our children, and enhance the quality of learning outcomes. Listen to the truth from the horse's own mouth.
Free senior high school education has come to stay. If anybody tells you that I, John Dramani Mahama, son of E.A. Mahama, will abolish free SHS when I come, tell the person he's a bloody liar. What I'm against is the poor implementation of the free SHS, which is creating great inconvenience for the parents, for the students, and for the teachers. And one of the things we'll do when we come back into office, and I know inshallah we're coming back into office, is to complete the 200 community day schools that we began, so that we can bring a quick end to the double track system.
Beware of the NPP's lies. Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Accra gets ready for the ultimate sporting event of the year. Starr 103.5 FM, your number one radio station, presents the Starr FM 10 Diplomatic Games.
On Saturday, 26th of October, the world's top diplomats gather for a friendly competition like no other in Accra, Ghana, under the theme Breast Cancer Awareness. Feel it, find it, fight it, and remember, there will be free breast cancer screening.
The venue is the American International School Sports Complex, East Legon, Accra. Time 8 a.m. prompt. The dress code is sporty pink. Activities of the day include
soccer, volleyball, tennis, obstacle race, indoor games, and more.
Who takes home the gold? Look out for our colorful and exciting children's corner. Join us live at the Diplomatic Games with commentary from your favorite Starr FM hosts. Don't miss the action at the Starr FM 10 Diplomatic Games on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at the AIS Sports Complex, East Legon. Remember, attendance is absolutely free, but registration is compulsory.
Visit www.starfm.com.gh to register for free. This event is in partnership with American International School and supported by Sahara Rise Hospitality, Accra Medical Center.
I'm saying that Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Many mistakes have been made by countries in Africa already with free SHS.
Akufado, minya wedienye, uye bwe, Bawumia, minya wedienye, uye bwe.
Hey, Mommy Jamefua, why are you so excited this hot afternoon?
My sister, when I remember what free SHS has done for me and my children, I can't help but be happy for what Nanado and Dr. Bawumia have done. You remember when I lost my husband who was the breadwinner?
Yes, I remember very well.
There was no hope for my 3 children to go to school until Nanado and Dr. Bawumia introduced free SHS. Now my children, Kofi, Esi, and Kojo, attend all these big schools. In fact, do you know they are saying they want to review it? That's one. Some of their people are saying that they should cancel. Others too are saying they should make some people pay the fees.
Hey, they want to do their thing again. Who is going to pay and who will be going for free? They want to push we the poor people aside and start using their connection men and protocol to access the free SHS life-changing policy.
That is why we have to do everything in our civil rights to make sure they don't come and spoil this good thing for us.
This free SHS policy that Mahama and his people said is not possible. But now see,
it is possible. This year, we are voting to protect the free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
Starr today. First, fast, and credible.
You're welcome back from that break. This is still Starr today here on Starr FM, and I am Tutuwaa Danso. So up next on the broadcast is a campaign trail. You're welcome back once again. This is your Simply the Best station, Starr 103.5 FM, and EIB certainly remains your 2024 election hub. It is time to officially take you on the campaign trail. It is some 5 minutes to the hour 6 p.m. Welcome to the campaign trail. Now, for those who desire to represent the 276 constituencies that make up Parliament, the clock is ticking. Because there are just 52 days to election 2024. And so 50 days of campaigning remains. My guest this evening is an architect and a big player in real estate. She is currently a sitting member of Parliament, seeking to make a return on January 7, 2025. But her constituency is your typical swing constituency in a very swing region. Her constituency is one of just 3 constituencies that has never retained a sitting MP. Yes, no MP contested and won again. Well, except someone close to her, her sister, Hannah Sewa Tete, who was MP in 2000, but only won again in 2008. After she lost her bid to retain the seat in 2004. My guest tonight beat the man that kicked her out her sister in the 2016 election. And now she faces a Herculean task of making history against no mean person, but someone from the presidency. Director of Communications at the presidency, Eugene Kofi Ahin. If you are still not sure of this constituency, I speak of, and if you're listening to us in Mfa Jane Pobi Ayereso, Ahentia Okweku Ansa, Obrechi, Odum Sankwanta, Simpa Pebeso, Anoche in Dadito, Mfafo, Ayensiako and its environment. I sit with somebody desirous of your votes come December 7th. Your Member of Parliament, Gisela Akushika Tete Agbotui. Now, through her campaign, she's appealing to you to end the one-term mantra. And will her bid be successful? My guest once again is Gisela Akushika Tete Agbotui, MP for Ewutu Senior West constituency, and has already taken her seat in the studios. Remember that we are live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM. As always, you can send us your WhatsApp messages with your questions on the number 055-288-0216. Again, 055-288-0216. This is your campaign trail. You're welcome once again to the campaign trail, and as I told you, my guest is seated, Gisela Akushika Tete Agbotui. You're welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much.
Great. Let's start off from what's happening in Parliament. So we understand that the minority is pushing for a motion to become the majority in Parliament. What's your take on that?
Thank you very much. Good evening to listeners. Good evening to my chiefs and the people of Autu Senya West. And greetings to all Ghanaians. Well, there are some unprecedented events that have gone on over the past 4 years, including a hung parliament, which is exactly split in the middle, both with the male population and with the female population. So currently, on our side, one member of parliament desires to go independent. And then on the MPP
But
side...
the MP for Amemfi Central.
Yes. And then on the MPP side, one desires to leave his independent status and go back to a political party, and two decide to leave their MPP political status and go independent. Yesterday, it started with the minority leader making a statement, and then there's also been a petition. But I think Speaker mentioned that tomorrow, Thursday, he needs a bit of time, and Thursday he will give his ruling on the matter.
Absolutely.
So I think we should all calm our nerves, calm down, and let's see what this Mr. Speaker will come up with. Knowing how thorough he is, he would like to look at all precedents, antecedents, and then make his ruling, because it's likely to be a long submission. He likes that. Okay. He wants to explain himself, the reason why he takes certain decisions. Okay. So let's wait and see.
Okay, let's move away from that and come to you directly. Before you came in, before we went on air, you told me that you're not controversial, you're without controversies, but there's news reports that you walked out on a number of chiefs in your constituency when Bawumia visited the constituency. How true is that?
So it wasn't, yes, I'm not that controversial.
Okay.
That is number one. Number two, it wasn't a walkout. What happened was, it was the climax of our festival.
Which festival is that?
We celebrate the Awubia festival.
Okay.
The Awutu people, the Senya people, and the Futu people, we are the Guans in the central region.
Okay.
And we have our typical festivals that we celebrate. And so this was a climax of the one that every little community had their own smaller Awubia festivals. And then this was at the district capital, the head of the paramountcy. And so it is something that's like a climax of all the various Awubia festivals.
Okay.
And what happened was, I gave my speech. I got there a little early. I was not given a seat as a sitting member of parliament. And so that was one sore point. And I'm like, okay, I can sit anywhere. I can actually sit at the back of the canopy with my people. But I was given a place to sit. My people made that arrangement for me. That was one sore point, ignored. And then the next one was after I gave my speech, I actually, in Fanti, they will say that Mr. Kwan, meaning that I asked permission to leave, to see to other things. Usually when I go for these festivals, I sit from the beginning till the end.
Okay, but what happened this time around?
Because it was highly political, and it was actually like a political rally. And as an NDC member of parliament...
You didn't feel that you fit in the occasion?
No. And as an NDC member of parliament, what am I doing at an MPP political rally?
Okay.
There were about 10 Metromass buses parked there. They had bussed people from everywhere, English, Amanfu, Senya Breku, all the towns and all that, and they had bussed them to the place.
Okay.
If people even outside the constituency were bussed there. So it was actually like a rally.
So it wasn't a walkout. You sought permission to leave.
I sought permission from the chief
first. You didn't disrespect the vice president.
No. Okay. First, so when I finished my speech, I could hear the siren.
Okay.
So I knew that he was coming. Okay. He was actually a bit late, because typically we start this festival at 1 p.m. And then we typically end at 5 because traditionally the mast and the stools and all those are not supposed to be out after a certain period of after a certain time. So that is what usually happens. So he got there around 4. But anyway, as I finished my speech, I heard the siren, so I decided to go back to sit at my place and then wait for him to come. And then after he does his greetings, then I'll find a way to, because like I said, it had become a rally. So at that point, what am I doing at an MPP rally? Something that was actually at the climax of our festival had become a rally. Had become an MPP rally.
Okay.
So at that point, he gave his speech. Sorry, he came. They gave us some citations. The district chief executive also gave his with a lot of unnecessary commentaries. My opponent also gave his, and all that while the sitting member of parliament. I was sitting in a place that does not befit a member of parliament. But I don't, like I said, I don't make
a big deal out of it.
Because I respect the people, and this is not the time to make controversies. Okay. So when Dr. Bawumia was about to give his, by then, I looked to my right and I saw about 3 chiefs had already gotten up because of the time that they should get up. They should not be out at a certain time.
Not to expose the stools,
yes,
as you said. Okay.
Yes, and the mast, yes. So the traditional mast. So I went to the Mama Hens rep And I mentioned to him, Pocho, he's a master Kwankur. Now, that's why I'm saying in fancy. Master Kwankur, but my son's Kwan Bio Pocho. Easy. Enyo. Then I'm a kind of and then I slipped out. I didn't no announcement was made. I just slipped out at the side. That was it. And they said I walked out. And actually, after that, I went to the Traditional Council. And I said I need to discuss this issue with them and other issues that had to do with drip machines, posters being torn off.
I was going to that because
please, just a moment. So I had this meeting with the Traditional Council, and I told them that in the first place they disrespected the sitting member of Parliament, myself, by not giving me a seat. This has never happened before, and they should have, and they know that. And actually, they apologized that in fact things didn't go well that day as it typically should have, and I accepted their apology, and then we moved on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the drip machine. We understand that you were claiming ownership of those machines. How true is that?
Nobody can claim ownership of a machine. Neither can my opponents claim ownership of a machine. We were invited by Jospon. Now, Jospon is a partner. Jospon's company, JA Plant Pool, is a partner to this District Road Improvement Program. I think they must have helped to procure the machines. As you know, the Common Fund Administrator even said in her speech that it was Common Fund arrears, that she was very much involved in this, Common Fund arrears that were being used. There's been a few videos that have gone around. Our ranking on the local government has also spoken about it. So we were invited as members of Parliament to see the equipment that was coming to our constituencies, which is fine. So we all went to Independence Square for that. Even took pictures. I mean, I'm into this construction area. I'm happy when I get equipment too, because I've been grading roads every year in my constituency at my own expense. So when machines are coming to my district, I'm happy. I just want to see that people's roads will be done, because I go on those roads, they go on those roads. They are farmers. When the roads are bad, their farm produce are locked in, and then the cars that should go and bring them out, we say that they won't go there because the roads are too bad.
Okay.
So they put their posters on. My people put my posters on. They tore my posters off. My people tore their posters off, and then it became a case. And my communication officer was actually, and two others were actually in remand for 4 days. At the end of the day, whose machines are those? They're for the people of Ghana.
Absolutely.
Baumia's 1 cedi is not inside. It's his tax, my tax, everybody else's tax. So.
Okay. So you are not behind the destruction of the posters of your opponents?
The point is that, you see, my posters have been torn many times.
But are you behind the destruction of the billboards of Eugene Ahin?
What billboards? Why would I be behind the destruction of the billboards of my opponent?
Okay.
He's got several of them, and people tear my posters down, and I don't complain, because if I'm to stay, I'm going to catch everybody who does. I have videos on my phone even. If I'm to say I'm going to catch everybody who does that, goodness, there's not going to be peace.
Okay.
So at some point, as a leader, you just kind of let certain things go, even if it's against the law. You just kind of turn a bit of a blind eye to it, because it can increase the temperature or decrease the temperature. And what happened when my communication officer and two others were remanded for 4 days in the Kaswa South, it increased the temperature considerably. Even the chiefs, when I met them, we discussed this issue. That, you see, I could have also gone with a brazen show of force, also aggression also to go and remove those things. But it doesn't bring peace to a community. And my place was not. But now it seems to be identified a bit as a hotspot in elections. So I don't want to do certain things
to
that
fuel
will bring
that perception.
As a leader, and people care about my community, and as a person who cares about my community, I don't do that, and I will not do that.
Okay. Generally, how has it been like being the member of Parliament for Ewutu Senior West? Has it been difficult for you?
I take on challenges, but let me just correct something you said in your intro.
Okay.
My sister was a member of Parliament from 2000-2004. She opted not to contest at that time.
Okay.
And then she was a member of Parliament from 2012 to 2016. Yes.
In the same constituency.
In the same constituency. And then that is when she lost to Honorable George Anda. And then I also went to be George Anda. And it's never happened in the history of Ghanaian politics where one sister is beaten by one person and another sister goes to beat the same person. Never happened.
Okay, so you would not describe your constituency as a swing seats?
The vote difference between myself and Honorable George Anda was about 2,800.
All right. But let's talk about how it's been for you.
And in the 8 elections, NDC have had it 6 times and NPP have had it 2 times.
So you think it's likely to go in favor of the NDC?
It's likely to go in favor of the NDC. It's not a swing seat per se, but the people decide.
Can pull surprises.
Oh, well, the people decide. They have their sentiments, and so they take the decision with a ballot.
Okay. But as I was asking you, how has it been for you, being a member of Parliament for Ewutu Senior West?
Oh, when you are a leader and you live a life of service, situations come your way and you deal with them. I'm somebody who, when I see a problem, I want to think, what's the solution to it? And so that has been my attitude this whole time. It's actually been very engaging, very enlightening. I used to be a member of the district assembly. I was a government appointee in 2015, 2016. So, and I've always gone to my communities since I was 5 years old. My father always took us. We used to live in Cape Coast. And my late father always used to take us to our village at least 4 times a year.
Okay.
So the areas are not new to me. Their problems are not new to me, the challenges. And so there are difficult times and there are challenging times, but there are also times of pleasure when you see the fruits of your labor, you know, people getting well, you know, trying to help somebody, and the person says, oh, madam, and you know, tears in their eyes, and just, you are touched. So it's a life of service.
Okay. Now, I know that you have put together a number of developmental projects. You've donated some polytanks. You've constructed a few roads. You've taken care of tuition for some tertiary students. Is that enough to retain you?
So I take it sector by sector.
Okay.
And so my interventions are infrastructure, which is grading of roads. I've graded roads every year because I cannot wait.
Actually, say solely funded by you.
Yes.
You don't touch the district's common fund?
Not for roads.
Not
no.
for roads.
Not for roads, no. No. And I do that because I go on the same roads and they are bad. And so I cannot wait for 4 years. In 4 years' time, I'm going to now get a grader to try and impress somebody, you know, about, trying to work on the road. And I think my communication officer must have sent you some of these things. I do them every year, but I choose different areas. 2021 I did. Budget, the machine was there for about 2.5 weeks, And then another part of it was Papasi area. That's what I call my eastern corridor. Also because some of the roads have just been left. They've just been left, and they were actually in pretty bad shape. Fortunately, I've also been able to lobby quite a bit. And Honorable Amakwata, I remember on the floor of Parliament, if you ask your parliamentary correspondent, I really hammer on my roads because I know that they've been bad, you know. And so I've managed to get quite a bit done.
Okay.
Now, aside from that, also dredging there's some streams and things that need to be dredged, some local little bridges that, you know, you have coconut trucks over them, you know, so we try and replace those things. There's a lot to do. Unfortunately, I think that because, so let me just talk about this is infrastructure. And then about health. I've done quite a lot of health interventions. My late parents were both doctors. I grew up in a hospital.
Okay.
It is whether it's a subconscious that has happened that way or what, I can't really tell. But for the first time, we were able to have a district, able to have a theatre. MTN Foundation.
A theatre in the Wutisinya West?
Yes, we didn't have one. We are that close to Accra, but we didn't have that. Now, MTN Foundation managed to lobby them. MTN Foundation were very gracious and completed something that the Bojasi Polyclinic was working on. The community supported cement here and there, but at some point it was just too much for them. And the foundation came to the aid of the polyclinic and then really furnished the place and set it up as an emergency center. And like I said, with the first theater, I mean, this is 21st century. There are 2 polyclinics which have never had this before. Bojasi Polyclinic is one, Senior Breku Polyclinic are also now receiving equipment, you know, towards that effect. So healthcare is something very critical that when the people are healthy, some of them, they don't want anything from me. They just want to be healthy and well and just go along their business. They are farmers, you know, and so I've done quite a bit of that. There are these, I lobby and I find solutions for my people. So we have collaborations with an eye clinic called Wadberg in Awutu, and every year they come and do some free surgeries. And so we also help to mobilize, pay transport and all that. And so there've been over 2,000 cataract surgeries that have been done for constituents. Since
2020?
Yes, before I became member of parliament.
Before you became a member of parliament?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then, you know, there's also these general surgeries that are done at Winneba Trauma Hospital, and we got to know about it. And so we let our people also go there and have these surgeries. Hernias, fibroids. These are things that somebody has had a fibroid for 12 years and doesn't have the means to even have it operated on. So the person is just walking there with, you know, that. And so we do things to touch, it's like soft interventions and hard interventions. Renovating of CHIPS compounds, you know, repairing CHIPS compounds. Some places roofs are leaking badly, things like that. And, you know, organizing health screenings for the people with other collaborating partners. I remember College of Physicians and Surgeons also came to do that. Dentists, organizing dentists to come. So many other interventions that we make. And then water. You know, because at the end of the day, I've tried to study the reason why there's certain things that in my constituency that we are a bit behind in development, let me put it that way. There are 20 communities that have never had electricity before. And this is the 21st century. I have filed questions on the floor of Parliament with Ministry of Energy. We've gone to do surveys, drawings, estimates, and they're just about to be awarded. So we've done a lot of groundwork on certain things that should be basic, and they should not be. That is not how things should be, especially when I'm that close to Accra. But at least we've tried to lobby a lot of these things to make sure that. And then water. I mean, there's a lot of the voter population is about 98,000 plus. That means that if this is a voter population, that means that the actual population there will be 180,000 thereabout. Now there's water challenges. There's not enough water to be treated water to go by. So you have to have all these boreholes. And in certain areas too, even though there are boreholes, they are saline. The groundwater is saline. So you also you realize that there you are trying to drill boreholes, but there you go and meet salty water. So the developmental challenges are many. And I think that as members of Parliament, somebody would say, you don't have to do all of this. But when the problem is staring you in the face, what is your option? The District Assembly has its responsibility. I wish that sometimes the District Assemblies would be a bit more, sometimes they wait for manna to fall from the government, the executive arm of government, But for us, members of Parliament, I have my own vision for my constituency, which I dovetail into my district's vision, where it matches, where it dovetails,
Okay. Jada, let me hold you on briefly and break this news to my audience, because we understand that the Electoral Commission has disqualified the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Amenfi Central, that is Joanna Jan Kojo. And in a letter signed by Sam Motata, who is the Deputy Chairman of Operations for the EC, it says that I bring you greetings from the Electoral Commission and trust this letter finds you well. The Commission's attention has been drawn to an order for interlocutory injunction dated 31st May 2024 in respect of a suit entitled Jedi Frimpong and 4 others versus Joanna Jan Kojo, the National Democratic Congress and the Electoral Commission, suit number E12/36/24 by the High Court in 2nd D. The other states as follows. It is ordered that until the final determination of the matter, the affected parties are restrained as follows. A. The first defendant or respondent for holding himself out as the duly elected NDC parliamentary candidate for the Amenfi Central constituency, and B. The second and third defendant and respondent, their agents and officers for holding out, allowing the first defendant or respondent to be held out, dealt with in any way, recognized or afforded any rights or privileges as the duly elected NDC parliamentary candidate for the Amenfi Central constituency. The said order has neither been stayed nor vacated. Hence, the Commission is bound by same. And in this regard, we write to inform you that you have been disqualified from standing out as a candidate for election to Parliament in your constituency. That's news coming in there from the Electoral Commission, indicating that Joanna Jan Kojo, the Member of Parliament, parliamentary candidate for Amenfi Central, has been disqualified to run on the ticket of the NDC in this upcoming polls. Unfortunate one there, isn't it?
I thought there was just another election for her, wasn't it?
Apparently.
So what was the EC doing? Why, if they
they have probably just cited the letter, but let's still talk about you, because it's all about you really today. I was asking, but are all these projects you've done enough to sustain you? Because I understand that your opponent has made some interventions with regards road. He's touched a bit on education, because we understand he's put up some libraries. He's done a few. He's done a newly paved lorry station in that constituency. What you've done, are they enough to retain you?
So, like I mentioned, that I have hard and soft interventions. The softer interventions have a lot to do with human capital development. There are currently about 450 young people who needed skills training, and they cover the whole constituency. There are 56 in Senyabreku, 52 in Autu, about 100 in Bojoase, about 40 plus in Obrachere, Adaukwa, Jekodia. Now we're doing all of this because we realize that, and our interventions are based on situations that we see. We don't just get up and do them. We realize that the youth, some of them could not afford to put themselves into skill training, although they had the desire to. When my sister was the Member of Parliament, she had this center in Bojuasi, which used to train people for free, And so I decided to expand it to other communities because there was a need for it and they were asking for it. And so it's been very successful. In fact, when the NDC comes to power, inshallah, and we are sworn in from 7 January 2025, and the National Apprenticeship Program takes off, I will multiply that by 10.
Okay. But are you not worried? I mean, Eugene has the resources. He has the power. Are you not worried? Are you not threatened that he may overtake you in this race?
I contested George Anda.
George is not Eugene. Eugene is right from the presidency.
So
that's the president's baby boy.
Okay. What was George Anda?
Oh, he was in the government, but Eugene, he's closer to the source than George.
So is it that the source? So how come that the source has that much resources to share and to spare? And the district assemblies are not getting their common fund on time?
So his candidature doesn't scare you, doesn't threaten you at all?
I'm not scared, I'm not threatened. It's a contest.
You think you do to him what you did to George Anda?
Let's see.
Okay. I see. Well, you're still listening to the campaign show here on Starr today. Let me just take a few comments. And this is coming in from good evening. We have 52 days to election day, and we are voting for continuity to protect the good work done by Honorable Gisela Tete Agbotui for ASWC and bring back the visionary leader, that is Ayawa. So I beg your pardon, Ewutu Senya West constituency. This is from Trinity Babatunde in the Central Region. He says that Gisela is the woman king. We are retaining her for the second time. She is the outstanding Ewutu Senya West constituency member of parliament. We are blessed to have her as our MP, a hardworking MP. Okay. Good evening, please. My name is Michael Akologo. We thank God for giving us a wonderful MP in Ewutu Senya West. In fact, she is a woman king. And the final one is from Kingsley, because he says that Gisela has performed creditably to deserve another term. Her commitments in the constituency, be it schools, reshaping and maintenance of roads, medical care, hospital equipment, even in opposition, are phenomenal. These are your constituents. They believe in you.
They do.
Okay.
And I believe in them.
Okay.
And I believe in their potential. And I believe that some of them have been punching below their weight. And there's much more that a lot of guys, just given the opportunity, there's a lot that they can do. And that's much more that they can even do even for themselves. Once the enabling environment is created for them.
Okay.
And so those who want the skills, we help them. We're now moving to Asumiapa business, which is supporting small business. And then my interventions touch people's lives because I care.
Okay.
I don't have the resources to be, putting up this school here and that school here, but I can fix your school if I have to fix it. And by the time will come when my government comes to power, and I can lobby more and I can get more things done, using government machinery where possible. For example, if I have to request for get fund, I don't have to now, go begging, or you have to appeal and that kind of thing. I mean, when your government is part, there's a lot of things that you can get done. And so the ask for interventions, we continue to do them.
Okay.
And touch people's lives.
Okay. Let me just go over the phone lines now and speak to Mustafa Gbande. He's the NDC's Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations. Mustafa, thank you very much for your time this evening. We understand that your candidate in the Amenfi Central constituency, that is Joanna Jan Kojo, has been disqualified from running on your party's ticket come December 7. Kindly tell me your first impression about this.
Well, I think that, thank you very much and good evening to our cherished listeners. I think it's a surprising news to all of us because the Amenfi Central issue, as far as I'm concerned, was adequately and prudently dealt with, to the effect that following the initial primaries that was organized, which saw the sitting member of parliament and two others, including Joanna Jan Kojo, contesting the election, they went through the election successfully. And then Joanna won. The MP believed that the candidature of, in fact, the qualification of Joanna Jan Kojo was questionable in his opinion. So, we went back and forth. Party leadership intervened, Council of Elders, the Western Regional Caucus intervened. He went to court. He got some people to go to court. Now, this is what the court did. Instead of the court determining the matter, the court decided to adjourn the matter beyond October. And so what then happened is that the party had no choice than to grant the relief in the original suit taken to question Joanna Kujo's candidature. So the party proceeded under the hand of the General Secretary to declare the Amanfi Central election null and void. Consequentially, a fresh election was organized. Honorable Kwache picked nomination. And then at some point, he had to back off. When he backed off, he then saw Joanna Kujo, coming up as a sole candidate. The party proceeded to declare her, to confirm her, and then proceeded to file her to contest. As far as the party is concerned, Joanna Jan Kujo's application before Electoral Commission was from the subsequent primary, because we had nullified the previous election.
Okay, Mustafa, for purposes of time, let me just ask you quickly. It's just about 52 days to the main polls. Will you be appealing this decision?
Well, of course, it will be dealt with, but I think that where the Electoral Commission have to only be reminded that the application brought before it is vexatious and fictitious. It is not existing. It has collapsed. Kwachi participated in the subsequent election. The reason he couldn't proceed was that he forged people's signatures to his application form. And then when he was confronted, the party then advised that because he's a honorable member of parliament, he should step aside, because other than that, he will be cited for criminal forgery. Then instead, he went up the election voluntarily. So to come back from the window to try to hold the party to ransom, for me, it's unfortunate. But the party will meet and will deal with it decisively.
Absolutely. Mustafa, thank you very much. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations. Gisela, let me come to you because you're wrapping up shortly. When it comes to Ewutu West constituency, what would you say is your legacy project?
Well, the biggest community center is being put up in Bojuasi.
Okay.
Now, Bojuasi is an old town. Mm-hmm. It has a name.
Kaswa Bojuasi.
No, Kaswa is separate. And Bojuasi is separate.
That's what we always hear, Kaswa Bojuasi.
Because there's a road between the two. So maybe that's why you put it together. But there's two separate, totally separate places. And Bojuasi is an old town with its own historical antecedents of a market, of a big market. And I think that the infrastructure has been, it could be better. And so I'm helping to build that community up as best as I can. And other communities that are in the district. I am particular about social spaces. Social spaces being what we call. Oh,
we understand we've been given 10 more minutes to do
yes,
this
because interviewing Mr. Fagbande gets into my time.
I
That's
agree.
Fair. I like fairness. So I'm particular about social spaces, which is what people would call Deba grounds and all that. And the communities like that a lot. Places where they meet, and in areas where it rains a lot. When you meet under a shed with palm fronds, you get beaten by the rain. So I've done quite a few of those. One or two my sister left, and some have also added. They've also added to it. Now, aside the social spaces, apart from a community using them for their typical activities, social activities, it brings people together, and it's a space where people can connect, and you can use it for multiple purposes as well. So the one in Bojuasi in particular, I mean, you're going to have kids reading. You're going to have kids reading sessions in them, because they're like 4 big blocks, and everybody can take a block and all that. And there's going to be quite exciting activities that are going to happen over there. And then, aside from that, like I said, renovating of CHIPS compounds, we've done 2. We hope, and then the Qatar charity have been gracious enough to donate a clinic and a nurse's apartment to us. So we're also expanding the health facility at the health CHIPS compound at Obrachire, which is my hometown. And so generally I've done quite a bit on health. I've done quite a bit on water, although I wish I could do more, because I don't like to see people in this 21st century with certain status of poor water, poor roads and that kind of thing. But you see, my issue sometimes is that I think the district assembly should be up and doing. There are certain things that are not the responsibility of the member of parliament, but we do it out of compassion, and because the people, we know that people need this. And because we also have the money to lobby, we make the effort to do that. But I'll give you an example. When I got there, I asked my district, I said, I want to know the status of all the boreholes. I mean, locations of them and all that. So I will know where, if I have interventions to put, I put them. That's that kind of information I was never even able to get in the district.
But what is your relationship with the DCE there?
Currently, I don't have a very good relationship with the district chief executive. It's unfortunate. He had issues with my older sister, and he's literally just transferred them onto me, which is unfortunate. I mean, he said on record that he hates the Tete family. That is his business. Okay. Which I really wish, I don't want to waste time discussing it here. Okay. Even if you want, but if you really must.
That's okay. I just wanted to know that.
I will do that because what he does is that he goes around printing my common fund expenditure. And it seems to be a strategy that the NPP have asked their DCs to do. So they go around printing your common fund expenditure and dropping it in communities that, look at what she spent here, look what she spent here. I am particular about accountability.
Okay, so those things they print are not reflective.
But who asked you to go and account for my common fund? 5% to 7% of the common fund. What about the 93, 95%? Why are you not accounting for yours? And then you go on radio stations with this same information. You go on radio stations with a paper and say, this is what I've approved for her, this is what I approved for her. My goodness. Get to work. There is IGF to be collected in such a large district as ours. You're waiting for common fund to come before you get your things done. You must also be creative. And this is the third district chief executive I've had. The first two, I was perfectly fine with them. Even though, you see, we're all on different political divides.
Absolutely.
And, we must be able to get along as leaders for the people. We are there because of the people. We're not there because of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And we must seek the people's interest, And so, for me, I'm transparent. My yes is yes, my no is no. And my people know that I'm very approachable, easily accessible.
Okay.
I mean, you can find me. It's not difficult to find me or locate me at any point in time if you really want to, or try and get to me with an issue.
Okay. You talked about the fact that your constituency is a farming, largely dominated by farmers. We understand that the Minister for Agric donated some fertilizers to your constituency. Were you beneficiaries of that? Did you get all 400 bags?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The difficulty is how to share them.
Why is that difficult?
Who do you give them to? And who do you not give to?
So the 400 is not sufficient for all the farmers there?
No, at all. It's not at all. In the constituency where you have...
How many percentage of the farmers do you think that it can cater for?
So this fertilizer was a grant. Was a grant that was... It was a grant that was given to the Ministry of Agric to use that to procure these fertilizers. Some colleagues, I remember even saying that they don't even want them because they're going to cause the problems. How will you share this sort of thing? So the district chief executives, they also got their share, and the MPs also got their share. I think the Agric office also got a bit, So what we do is that we go to the communities, we say we have these fertilizers.
But I want to know, on a general scale, what is the percentage of farmers that these fertilizers can cater for?
It will not be more than 20%.
The 400 bags will not be able to cater for more than 20% of the farmers there?
No.
That sounds woefully inadequate.
Yes. And so when the NDC comes to power, they're going to really amend some of these farming inputs. We plan to have farmer services centers in the districts.
Okay.
And these will have equipment, basic equipment for farming that will be able to help them. A lot of people are still doing hoe and cutlass. And much as traditionally they are used to doing hoe and cutlass, at some point it gets backbreaking.
Absolutely.
And all that. So I think we must move forward. Mahama's government, when it comes, is going to really look at these fertilizers and inputs generally for farming, because a lot of people, that is their livelihood. Sometimes I worry a bit about the fact that because of my proximity to Accra, some of the lands are being taken over by what they call estate developers. And so some people are losing their farmlands to estate developers.
Willingly?
They are sold, they are being sold, and they've been farming on these lands for a very long time, And so that is going to be, God willing, I get a second term, I'm going to have a lot of agric interventions.
Okay.
And see how we can even change. There's actually quite an amount of cocoa that is being grown over there. We want to increase the amount of cocoa. We're also going to look into palm, and then
palm production. Okay.
And then also we're going to move. They do the cassava and the corn.
Okay.
Those are very traditional crops that we grow. Okay. And then some other vegetables. I introduced. I got Blue Skies. They are CSR, corporate social responsibility, or school farms. And so even just this week, I was at one of the schools to check on their school farm to see how it's doing. I want to encourage the schools to also to go into agric. The children themselves need to know the best practices when it comes to that. So my interventions are not always conventional, going to get surgeries done for people, and then all these eye interventions, and then, the school farms. We started some environmental clubs. That didn't go too well, but we're going to step up that. Tourism is also, there's a part of the constituency, a town called Senyabreku.
I know, I've heard of Senyabreku.
Yes, which together with Goma Fete is actually the first tourism cluster outside of Accra. Now, step by step, you must get certain things in place. Fortunately, the road is done. The road that leads to Goma Fete and Senyabreku is done. There's a fort there, which we've had a bit of issues with Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, just trying to come and restore it, because it's actually quite good condition, but it needs a bit more. I did a statement on the forts and castles in the central region.
Okay.
I do have some interest in tourism because I'm from the central region, and during the time of when SEDICOM was established, that was really the drive for SEDICOM at the time. And about more than 17 forts, the focus has been on the castles, but there are a lot of forts that are dotted along. And these, if they are actually able to be put into good use, they would actually really affect the influence positively the local economies of them. I've even had discussions with the Ministry of Tourism on that, So, and then there's also, I also have some ecotourism potential as well with Forestry Commission. Unfortunately, that also goes a bit slow because for one or two reasons, it's difficult to tell. So I'm really hoping my government comes to power. The same things, I'll put them in overdrive.
Okay.
Because I'm not be able to do that enough.
I want to touch on it briefly. I mean, we are wrapping up shortly, but
Yes.
You say that even though your constituency is pretty much close to Accra, you lack in certain developments.
Yes.
If the people vote for you, what is the assurance that you get the developments running there?
They've seen what I can do, even in opposition. They've seen that I'm forceful. I'm there every week. I'm there every weekend, literally. I'm with them. I know what their challenges are. A lot has got to do with employment.
Okay.
A lot of the 24-hour economy policy would really help my constituency, but there must be some basic building blocks that I have to put in place, for that to be established. I've discussed with the chiefs that they should reserve some lands for industrial development, which fortunately President Mahama even came there and talked about that. Also, there are 5 senior high schools, and with that critical mass of students, and I think we need to have a tertiary institution. So I'm gunning for a nursing training college. Like I said, there's a subconscious bias towards health. So a nursing
because of your background,
maybe
largely,
maybe, and so a nursing training college will suit the community. With the 5 senior high schools, there's an Agenda 1 hospital being put up by the government. Unfortunately, they will not finish by December elections. And Mahama has said that when he comes, he will take over the other ones and complete them. I know you are looking at me, and you can see I'm confidently saying Mahama because I know that incoming President Mahama is coming to put certain things right and to reset the country. Yes, I am very sure.
Okay. Ajisala, you won the 2020 election with about close to 52%. What percentage are you looking out for in 2024?
Due to the nature of the constituency, I must be realistic.
Okay.
I must be realistic. I would like to maintain that percentage,
50.
at least.
That's a 51.58.
At least. At least. And at most, realistically, I would put it about 57%.
You're looking at 57? Despite all you've done, you're pegging your expectations at 57.
I don't talk plenty.
You just show action.
Quietly.
I see. All right, Gisela, we are wrapping up. My producer wants us to. That's your friend. He's on me fast to wrap up, but it's okay.
His parents live in my constituency.
They have to be sacked.
Yes. No. But actually, so I'll just talk about the nursing training. I will need a tertiary
in about
institution.
30 seconds.
It's fine. So my policies are still going to be human-centered, infrastructure driven, and wherever there are gaps, I intend to fill them.
Okay.
And I'm just appealing to the constituents that this one term, 4 years, 10, for somebody to actually make impactful interventions, they should look at it again because it doesn't really help.
Okay.
I compare my other colleagues in Parliament, who've been there, but actually when NDC comes to power, we will run. It will be a race.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
A race for development.
It's an absolute pleasure hosting you on the campaign trail.
Thank you very much.
I've been engaging Gisela Akushika Tete Agbotri. She's a member of parliament for Ewutu Senior West constituency. She's been my guest on the campaign trail. That wraps up campaign trail this evening here on Starr Today. And that is how we end Starr Today here on Starr FM. For more news updates, log on to starfm.com.gh. And talking about more news, be reminded that remember parliamentary candidates for the Amenfi Central constituency on the tickets of the NDC has been disqualified from running in the 2024 race. We'll bring you details of that in a subsequent broadcast. But also check out on starfm.com.gh for more news updates on the back of that. I am Tutuwaa Danso. Thank you very much for your time. We are back tomorrow with more news updates on Starr Today. Have a good evening.